We're in Leeds to speak to a British Muay Thai legend, Liam Harrison, who has just opened up the latest version of his long-standing gym, Bad Company. Liam is training for his last ever fight, which is for the WBC Muay Thai Diamond belt at the Hitman Fight League in Manchester on March the 8th. We came down to see how he trained and find out his thoughts on the current state of British Muay Thai and the future of combat sports in the UK.
That fucking kick is so lethal. Listen to the sound of that kick.
Can you tell us why you think British Muay Thai is having such a big moment?
You know what, it's amazing because I've been here from the very start and watched it slowly progress. And a few years ago I was like, we are going to be one of the best nations on the planet soon when it comes to Muay Thai, and I think we're up there now. Obviously Muay Thai in 4-ounce gloves like a One Championship, it's a bit of a hybrid style, it's a bit different compared to traditional fight.
Do you think the smaller MMA gloves are a fair trade-off for getting great exposure to Muay Thai?
If this is the trade-off, what it takes to get Muay Thai mainstream, One Championship is great on Sky Sports now. They've got it worldwide on Prime. They're paying fighters 50k bonuses for knockouts. Thai boxers never had this type of money before, do you know what I mean?
What is the difference between kickboxing and Muay Thai?
So kickboxing, you can kick, you can knee, you can box. There's no clinch work, there's no sweeps, there's no elbows. The scoring's different. It's a vicious sport, but it's a bit diluted compared to Muay Thai, I believe. In Muay Thai, you've got the elbows, you can catch and sweep, you've got the clinch work, which is an art in itself. It's scored completely differently. However, there's some seriously vicious kickboxers on the planet who I think could cross over and do well in both.
Yeah, you kind of basically you're saying kickboxing, it really negates the inside work?
Yeah, obviously you can't clinch, you get warned. When I fought kickboxing, when I won my world title, I got warned 3 times for grabbing, because it was just instinct into me. I was only young, and every time I'd punch combination, if he came close, I had to stop myself elbowing in my head. I was like, do not elbow him. So when he came close, I was clinching up and I think, I can't do that. And now I kept getting warned off the referee. Luckily, he was going to take a point off me, and I think I was already behind on the scorecard, to be fair, but luckily I stopped the guy in the next round. But don't get me wrong, it's a vicious sport, and there's some of the best strikers on the planet who are kickboxers.
Can you explain to us some of the worst injuries you've ever had? Yeah,
my knee were probably the worst. That was a horrendous one, trying to come back from that one there. Like ACL, MCL, medial meniscus, lateral meniscus, all in one go. I thought my career was going to be over. I was nearly 37 years. I was 37 years old at the time, and I'm thinking, it's me done. I've had 120 fights. I've had a good run. And I remember going to see the surgeon after, and he went, right, you're retiring after this, aren't you? And I was like, yeah. He'd be like, no, you need to retire. He said, your knee will never come back he said, you'll never get back to being able to train how you trained before.
Can you give us a little explainer what it's like to fight Saenchai?
I was fighting at the highest level, but I was relatively inexperienced to fight someone who at his time, he was about 26, 27, in his prime, and he was an absolute machine. The first fight, I give him a little bit too much respect. Although I give him a good, close, hard fight, and after the fight he said, that was the best fight I've ever had with anyone outside of Thailand and stuff like that. And I'm thinking, I don't want to be just giving him the best fight outside of Thailand. I want to be giving him one of the hardest fights that he's had everywhere, and I'm thinking, I think I can still beat this guy, but he's so tough.
Do you think Muay Thai fighters are getting softer these days compared to when you were coming up?
A lot of them are, and that's down to do with social media as well, because a lot of them are Instagram fighters and they want to have a fight and then they'll live off it for a few months. I used to fight every 4 weeks when I was younger. That's why I've been able to get 120 plus fights. Most fighters won't do that now. One, because they really don't have to. The money's a lot better. I was fighting for fuck all when I was fighting. That's why I had to fight so regular. I didn't start making good money until I was about 30. These guys didn't really do it that way. I did it the hard way, do you know what I mean? And I'm happy I did, because I've got life experience, which a lot of these guys coming up now, they don't have all the wild stories and stuff that I've got. I've got so many crazy stories from when I used to live in Thailand, what mad stuff that used to happen.
Tell us one of the wildest stories you've ever had from your time in Thailand.
Do you know what? There's so many. I'll tell you when I tell this all the time. I told it on Joe Rogan. When I used to live there, I used to bet on myself every fight to make a bit of extra money. And I'd go fighting. I had a rematch with a guy. I'd fought him. I lost on points in a really close fight. And I thought, I can definitely knock this guy out. We had a rematch, and it was on a really big show at the Rajaratnam Stadium. And I'd won my previous 3 fights in a row by stoppage. I thought, right, I'm betting all my money on myself. So I said to my coach, I went, bet my money, my purse, bet it. I said, here's more money, bet it. I said, anything you guys want to bet it. I said, I'm knocking him out. Round 3, he stepped in, I went bang, right on his chin, wobbled him. I ran in to finish him, and as I've thrown a punch, he's thrown the knee at the same time, and the knee hit me square in my sternum. And I went, oh God. And it didn't drop me, it just took everything from me. I went back at the end of round 3 and sat down, and everyone was going, why didn't you finish him? And I went, I can't breathe. I went out round 4, which is the money round. I lost round 4. And then on round 5, he just protected his league. So I lost all my money. I had nothing to pay my rent. I had nothing I had no money to eat. And then I said to my boss the next morning when I've gone around the gym, he was like, well, what are you doing? I went, well, I'm not going home. I said, I need to fight again. He went, I know you do, I've booked you a fight for tomorrow. So 2 days later, I flew down to Phuket, I had to fight again. So I'd gone a 5-round war. And then I had 3 days, I had 2 days to rest. Day 3, I had to fight again. I was battered, but I needed the money. And I won that fight by knockout, luckily, because I'd flown down to Phuket and I fought. And then he went, right, do you need to fight again, don't you? I went, yeah, and I fought again 2 weeks later. And I won that fight lucky as well.
How come the fight with Floyd Mayweather never happened?
Yeah, that was a shame. So I was waiting on the injury we spoke about when Nongo smashed my leg to bits. And then one day, my business partner who I do the Hitman Fight League now down in London, he rang me and went, do you want to fight Floyd Mayweather? I went, what are you talking about? He went, he's put you on a short list of, down to the final 3 people of who he's going to pick to fight in England. I said, I can't even fucking walk, mate. I said, what are you on about? He went, can you box? I went, let me test. So I went to the gym, I got gaffer tape, and taped my knee up in gaffer tape. And I was in the pads and I went, yeah, I can box. Let's do it. So then, next minute, I'm on FaceTime with Floyd Mayweather's manager and he's going, right, will you fight hard? I went, yeah. He went, you're not scared of him, are you? I went, I'm a fuck. He went, want someone who's going to go at him? I said, listen, you've got it, don't worry. I went back in the gym, started training, and the pads were fine. Then when I started sparring and people were moving and I realised that I couldn't move myself, and I thought, shit, and I'm fighting the greatest boxer of the last generation. I wouldn't have laid a glove on him even if I was 100%, let's be honest, you know what I mean? But I would have gone out swinging. And I thought, he's going to make me look a complete idiot here. And I just had to sit down and make the decision not to fight because 1, I'd have humiliated myself. 2, the money was good, but it wasn't life-changing, do you know what I mean? And 3, I just didn't want to embarrass myself.
When was the last time you had a street fight and what happened?
I have had a few like that, to be fair. And there was one time where I did actually warn a guy and he still kept going and going and I just knocked him flat out. But the thing is, the older you get and the wiser you get, I don't put myself in positions because when I was younger, I'd go out in these places and there would be dickheads in there going, oh, that fighter's over there. And they would try and do stuff like that. And at the time, I was young, I was arrogant, I was an idiot. I'd say, all right, then come on. The older I've got, the more I realise you've got to take yourself away from those places. It's just not worth it. It's not worth breaking your hands. It's not worth knocking someone's spark out. And even worse, what can happen, killing them. Because you see people get killed in one punch and stuff, then you're going to jail for God knows how long. It's just not worth it. I just take myself away from those type of places.
How do you feel about the rise of bare knuckle boxing?
People love blood, don't they? They want to see violence and knockouts and all the rest of it. I've been approached by BKFC a few times. My hands are smashed to bits. I've shown you my hands. It's not. I don't care how much money they offered me. I want to be able to pick a cup of tea up with me when I'm in my 40s. Do you know what I mean? When me and my missus have kids, I want to be able to carry baby. I don't want to be like have my hands smashed to pieces. I broke my hands. This one 3 or 4 times. This one twice in 8-ounce gloves. So in no gloves, it wouldn't be worth it for me. But if they can make the money doing that, fair play.
Can you tell us what it was like fighting for the first time as a pro at only 14 years old?
So there were no nerves, because like I said, I was just a cocky div when I was younger. I was. Like Richard, because Andy had started fighting pro, because he's older than me. I want to fight pro like Andy is. He went, you're too young. I said, well, how old do you have to be? And at the time, you had to be 16. I was like, you have to be 16? I was like, it was a week before my 15th birthday when I finally got offered a pro. He said, right, I've had a call. There's a 16-year-old from Manchester. They're looking for an opponent for him. So I said, right, tell him I'm 16. I went, please, Richard. And Richard went, all right, we'll say you're 16. You can fight him. It turned out he was 19, but I knocked him out in first minute at first round. And honestly, it was the greatest feeling ever, honestly. And then that was it then. There was no turning back. I just fought men ever since that week before my 15th birthday, 14 years old, I just fought men.
Give us your thoughts on some of the best British strikers of all time.
I think Leon's up there. Leon Edwards is up there for MMA, definitely. Muay Thai, we've got so many. Myself, Haggerty, Nico Carrillo coming through now. So if I had to pick one for MMA, it'd be Leon. If I had to pick one for Muay Thai, me.
What do you think is having a bigger moment, Muay Thai or boxing?
That's an hard question because boxing will always be boxing. That'll be always the mainstream sport. But when you look at where Muay Thai's come from in the last 10 years to where it is now, if it keeps going like this, it'll be up there with it soon.
Who are your favourite British MMA fighters at the moment?
Paddy, he's a friend. He's Paddy. He's a mate. He's sound. Obviously, big Tom Aspinall, absolute beast. He's only young as well. Give him another a few years, and he'll be up there with some of the best heavyweights of all time, I believe. Leon's class to watch. So those three. Yeah.
Who do you think wins out of Tom Aspinall and John Jones?
That's an hard one, because Jones is so good. I'd love to see Tom beat him, like if they do fight. Tom's sound. Again, Tom's a friend with... Tom actually let me kick him in the leg. He went, with no shin pad. He went, go on, kick me in the leg. I went, what, full power? He went, no, 50%. And the thing is, Tom's legs are fucking like they're like tree trunk. I thought, I'll kick him a little bit hard. Then he went, bang, he went, oh, you bastard. I was like, yeah. So, I'd love to see that fight, and I'd love to see Tom win.